Ladies and gentlemen, this is the star of our dish. This is a beautiful Texas Red Hen. Now, what's a red hen? Well, it's not a type of bird, it's a way of preparing the bird. And I want to show you a fantastic recipe. Good morning. Today I am going to be making a Cornish hen. Now, what's special about a Cornish hen? Well, what's special is what I've done to it. I've decided to take a page from history and I looked back. What are the popular treatments of different types of fowl when it comes to preparing them? Okay, and one of them that really stood out to me and one that was really popular this last Christmas was orange duck. And this dish is inspired by orange duck. So it is a citrus sauce dish, and it was inspired around a very special Texas citrus fruit. So we're going to get into this in a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to make this wonderful red sauce that goes on top of these delicious hens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my own recipes. It's a brand new one. It's already tried and tested too. It's a good one. This is your Texas Red Hen. Let's get busy making these goodies. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, the ingredients we're going to be using today is going to be as follows. Back here I have some grapefruit juice. This is Texas Ruby Red grapefruit juice. And I'll say this, if you've never tasted a Texas Ruby Red, they are distinctly different from the Ruby Reds that you get in other parts of the country. And that's because our soil here is, well, it's much different, and it produces a very different grapefruit. Now, it's very sweet, and that's what this is. It's got the sweetness of an orange, but the flavor of grapefruit. So this is fantastic, and that's what I'm using today. Salt, sugar, olive oil, a bit of Cointreau, or you can substitute Grand Marnier. And here we have a beautiful hen. Now, when you're doing this, different size hens for different purposes. If you would like, you can get your 22-ounce hens like I have here. These are great for an adult. Or if you would like a nice little 16-ounce hen for those that prefer a smaller portion, or for kids. Works out really well. You just cook those 16-ounce hens for about 15 or 20 minutes less. But that works out. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our ingredients for this fantastic dish. Let me show you how we make this sauce and how I'm going to prepare this bird. Now folks, before I get into trussing the chicken and doing all of its prep and getting it roasting, I need to start on the glaze, because the glaze takes a little bit longer. Go ahead and get all of these ingredients down into your pan and get them mixed together and bring them to a boil. We're just going to let that sit there and boil. We'll stir it about every 15 minutes and it will do its own thing. And when it gets low enough, you'll realize it. And don't sweat it. This takes actually, believe it or not, about an hour to finish cooking down. That's what it took me last time, using a medium-high heat. So let's get that started and then we'll work on the chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing this up in temperature now. And as soon as it starts to boil, I'll reduce the temperature to medium-high and continue cooking until I've cooked off all of this excessive liquid. I want this down to about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup total volume. In other words, a syrup. The next thing we're going to do is prep out our breast. Ladies and gentlemen, take that breast, cover it in olive oil, tie it with your string, salt it, and get it on a rack to cook. We'll be cooking that at 350 degrees, so make sure you start preheating your oven now. Folks, we have our beautifully trussed bird ready to go. Okay, I've got that down in the oven now. That's cooking at 350 degrees. So you'll know, cook time. Look, it varies. There are 16-ounce birds, 22-ounce birds, and other birds out there of all different weights. And it's going to be a different amount of time for each. Also, different altitudes affect the temperature inside that bird in different ways. Higher altitude, longer cook time. Plain and simple, folks. Too many variables for me to say cook it for X number of minutes or hours. Cook it until your internal temperature is between 175 and 180. You will need to use a cooking thermometer. This is very important. Definitely use one of these. And when you're finished, or you believe you're finished cooking, you'll insert this thermometer in between the leg and the breast, in the breast meat itself, to get that core temperature. It needs to be right, ladies and gentlemen. And then we'll get on with the glaze. That's good. Now folks, I have reduced this by at least half or more already. We're cooking that glaze down. It's over medium-high heat. You can see where it used to be on the side of the pan and how much moisture is cooked out. As soon as this is down to about 3/4 of a cup or just slightly less, we're ready to use it. Folks, I have finished cooking this down. You can see where the glaze originally was right up here. That was where we started. That's how much liquid we've cooked out. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? So like I said, we're making it a beautiful, thick, rich syrup. Now look how that coats, how thick it is. And that's going to do the same thing on our birds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to baste this onto my bird, put it back in the oven, and finish it off in there and have a most wonderful tasting finish. Oh yeah, wait till you taste this. You're going to be surprised how really good it is. But remember, this is a concentrate, and once it's on the bird and it's cooked over it, it takes a beautiful, mild taste to it. That is definitely good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the quantities of what we've used, today to make the amount of glaze that you've just seen, which is about a half a cup, sometimes slightly more, but roughly that, the amount that you're going to need for that is 1 quart of grapefruit juice, 1/4 of a cup of Cointreau. Now this is something you can leave out if you want. You can leave this out and don't worry about that if you don't cook with alcohol. But any of the alcohol does completely cook out. You're just getting the flavor. 1/4 of a cup here, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, a little bit of salt, just enough to cover our bird as we would normally do so in cooking, and a little olive oil to coat the bird and keep it moist as well, as you've seen. Folks, you're going to need a little bit of cooking string and that thermometer. Don't forget it. It's an important part. And of course, beautiful Cornish hens. Now, the amount of glaze that you've seen today is good for about 2 of the larger Cornish hens or 3 of the smaller ones. And if you are cooking more than that, simply double these ingredients from 1 quart to a half a gallon, half a cup, and you are up and running. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this beautiful, beautiful bird. I have just given it 5 minutes with 1 coat of the glaze, pulled it out of the oven, glazed it a second time, put it back in for another 5 minutes at 375, and here it is. It's all finished up. All I'm doing now is going to let it rest. I'm going to give it 10 minutes right here before I even consider plating it up. At that point, I'll then transfer it to a plate. We'll remove our string, and it will be absolutely adorable. Oh yeah, there it is. A gorgeous Texas Red Hen. This is a recipe I'm going to get to enjoy sharing with a lot of people. Gorgeous, gorgeous bird. All right, and a fantastic tasting bird. As I said before, this kind of recipe that you're going to want to share once you've tasted it. This is a perfect recipe. Ooh, look at all that moisture. Right now, my plate is literally gushing. Oh, this bittersweet tanginess. It's fantastic. Every bit as good as orange duck, but I think a better tasting bird myself. That's delicious. I'm going to be enjoying this in a little bit. And folks, when I was cutting that open, juice is just pouring out of it, going everywhere. flavoring those mash and the peppers underneath. This is going to be a wonderful meal and a beautiful combination of goodies to go with it. So I'm going to enjoy it. I would like to say thank you very much to my subscribers. Folks, if you would, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, take a look at the channel. Please subscribe. Click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Also, comments are there for a reason. If you have something to say, some input, if you would like to request something, please put it in the comments. You'd be quite surprised at how often I fulfill requests. Ladies and gentlemen, also please take a look at my Patreon. That's Patreon, and it is Stuart Trotter. So that's patreon.com/STUARTTROTTER. That is my Patreon page. So if you're interested in what I provide there, then please sign up, and it is very much appreciated. And folks, if you would, please have a good day and enjoy that hen. Oh yeah, come with me.